Hi chat. Welcome in everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Easter. Happy whatever you celebrate. Thank you for joining me. Hello Will. Hello JK. Happy to have everyone with me. Ooh, first thing. Pulling pizza out of oven. Or out of freezer, not out of the oven. I want some pineapple pizza pie. I'm also sort of excited for a menu I planned early next month. I think it's on the 2nd. I'm going to buy a whole bunch of canned stuff and either get rid of the labels or sort of hide the labels, but mark them so that I can tell with a list sort of a thing. And then have you guys pick which cans I have to cook dinner with. So today I already started picking up a few things. I grabbed a can of an extra. I'm using a can of chili tonight, but I grabbed an extra can of chili. I grabbed a can of corned beef. I grabbed a can of manwich. But now we need to get into some of the other ones. I mean, I've already got canned corn around the house. I might have canned tomatoes. Like, gonna have a whole spiel of different things is the idea. And then we'll have chat fight over, is that spam or not? Thank you for joining me tonight, everyone. I hope you've had a great weekend. Cheers. That was hot. Alright, let's get a pie pan out here. And let's make sure it's one of my smaller pie pans, because I don't think this pizza is going to do great for fitting a full large one. Okay, they're slightly. I think this one's an inch larger. Actually, it's not even that. And we're going to grab our pizza. I've chosen my normal pizza for home consumption, which is not, it's more like a cracker crust pizza. But as long as you go into it understanding that, it's pretty good pizza. And I like the idea that Newman's Own, they support everything. The business was designed by Newman after he had more than enough money, did it, I think, partly to get his kids to have something to work on. And they give all of their profits to charity. The business is designed that way. Okay, you want to be difficult with plastic? And for the most part, I haven't noticed them change much about this, other than they used to have a cardboard reinforcement underneath it, which was sort of nice for putting it in the oven. But I can understand both waste of the cardboard and, like, don't really need it. So we're going to let this defrost and sort of sink into the pan. And that's going to, I'm gonna, then once this is defrosted and is hopefully somewhat more soft and pliable, we'll weigh it down. I have a jar of rice that I use for my pie weight rice. And we'll use parchment, even though it's probably going to get a little greasy and maybe a little stuck to the cheese. it'll help it keep down into the shape so that we have somewhere to put all the pineapple. Speaking of pineapple, that is going to be next project. Oh, his nose. I pulled the tab off on this, and so now I've jammed it down in with my knife and then wedged it back out with this thin prep spoon. Saved. It's a mighty thin metal top. They're getting pretty good with their science. I couldn't find... You can use crushed pineapple. But the only crushed pineapple at the store today was the store brand. And I don't really like the store brand. So we got pineapple. I'm going to blend that up with a few other things here. Starting with a lemon. Besides the cans that I bought tonight, what cans should I get for this challenge on the second? What ones do you think are great, chat, that I maybe not have thought of? I am thinking, I've already got Hearts of Palm in the house as one can. I am thinking Jackfruit will probably be another can. Artichoke Hearts, okay. I was honestly sort of hesitant about that one. But that can be done. Bamboo-based foods are typically... Yeah, you're typically sort of like, you gotta do a salad or something along that line, typically, with a lot of the bamboo stuff. Baked beans might be a good one, yeah. I've already got refried beans in the house, so that's already going to be in there. That's a definite maybe in the cream style, because I already have regular corn. But maybe if I see it on sale or something. Probably got to have green beans too, even though I sort of hate canned green beans. Black olives I have in the house, that'll definitely be in there. I don't know if I can find a normal size can. I wouldn't want to do a small one, but I don't know if I can find a normal size can of any of the pepper stuff. Maybe green chilies. And throw in some sugar in here for with our pie. Condensed milk, I already have well, I don't have condensed milk. Condensed milk would be a toughie. I have evaporated milk already. No, I sort of like that idea, condensed milk. I don't know if I can find... That's another one that's typically like a half can. Or a 10 ouncer or something like that. Touch of vanilla in there, sugar. You can do a touch of salt. Ooh. Welcome, Raiders. Food trucker. What were we making? What were we cooking? Or you have like a set menu? Were you out working today? Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that. Give them a moment in case they get caught. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing surströmming. I don't even know if I could get my hands on it easily. No real desire for that one there, chicken. Canned chicken's a good one that I'll probably be able to pick up. Welcome, lovies. I am doing... Well, I'm making a dinner of pork chop, sort of simple dinner tonight of pork chop, rice, and canned chili. The main show of the night is I'm about to blend up a bunch of pineapple here, and that's going to be turned into a pineapple pie, like baked pie. But this is going to be the crust. I'm waiting for this to defrost a bit so I can mold it into the pie pan that's underneath it a little bit better. So that is the current plan for tonight. Yeah, I think I've seen those too. I've also seen, I don't know if I can get my hands on them, but that's one that would be interesting to get my hands on. Another interesting one to get my hands on would be like the hamburger in a can, or I think they even do cheeseburgers in a can. So we're going to give our pineapple a blend, but I'm going to have to mute for that because it's sort of loud. Okay. Also, for those just coming in, I'm blending this because I wasn't able to find the type of pineapple I want crushed. I would have bought crushed pineapple instead of blending up this, but spam is possibly going to be in there. The problem with spam is it's so obvious. It's got its obvious size tin, and I sort of feel like I gotta find something else the same type size tin if I'm gonna have spam there. If only to get chat to be like, which one is the spam? They had a decent amount of pineapple. They had chunks, and I don't remember the name. There was a cutesy name for the smaller chunks, and they had rings, but they didn't have any crushed, other than the store brand that I didn't want to use. It was it's one of those brands that. There's a couple of brands out there that I think are almost out there to make a bad name. Like, there's a couple of organic brands out there that I think are mostly in the game for the big box stores to poo-poo on organics. I know, colorful language. But also for anyone else new in here, hello, I'm Chef JT. I cook here on Twitch 4 nights a week, so I'm always coming up with new things on dinners here. Very little of what I do on stream, none of what I do on stream is like, pre-practiced. It's just, I'm tooling around in the kitchen. So we need to cook this and thicken it up a bit. So I'll add this to a pan over on the stove. Well, for much of that, I'm willing, but I'm not really interested in doing the legwork myself. And so, damn it, well, I want voice commands back. If you have ones in particular that you have found on like Amazon or someone trustworthy to give money to order from, let me know. Because I'm not going to find those at the local Safeway. I've spent 3 days of coding time, like my last 3 free days that I worked on coding, just testing things. And I don't even know if what I'm testing is worth my time to test. Sprinklebot sometime. Well, for croc, alligator, maybe even iguana, southern states, Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Mississippi. I've had buffalo burgers several times. I think I've actually had buffalo burgers on stream. I haven't done much with buffalo other than, I think, ground. Zebra I have not had. Alligator, fishy chicken. Like, take the texture of fish and give it the flavor of chicken. Yep. I'm open to horse too, but that's sort of an iffy thing here in the US. They're not big on horse meat here in the US. That would be, I think, even tougher though when it comes to the meats. When you get like, a raw piece of meat that you have never worked with before put in front of you. Like, is it going to taste the same way as it's prepared? Like, are you going to take a quick slice, sear it, and see what it's like to taste? And then go from, like... I got that spoon out to put cornstarch in there, not to stir it. We're gonna need a whisk to stir that. And we'll let that sit. So that's our filling. We'll probably have to warm that back up to get it soft enough. It's probably going to gel too much by the time this gets going. We're getting there with this. It's starting to sink down in there a little bit on its own. But it's still like frosty in the center and a little bit over here. Ooh, that would be a royal curveball. I mean, do they have canned fondant? I know they have those, to call them chocolate in any form is really a lie, but the like chocolate like drops. I did use them once on stream before, where you basically melt them in the microwave and they act like a colored chocolate glaze, but they're not chocolate. What do we do now? Do we start working on normal dinner? I think we start working on normal dinner. What was normal dinner again? I had to make another vinaigrette. Actually... Got the leftover pesto. Crumble a bouillon cube over the top of it. Toss it in with the oil or butter if you're doing that. Let's do a little mustard seed. Or whole grain mustard. Worcestershire. No, I'm not going to do honey. We don't want to get that any sweeter. We definitely want to do vinegar. Hi, Blake. Back to vinegar. We need vinegar. Rice vinegar, citrus, Maybe we'll just stick with apple cider. Happy Easter to you as well. And then pesto. I like pepper. I over pepper everything, chat. You should all realize that and understand that I know that I over pepper everything. I want enough pepper that it burns. Alright, that's going to be our vinaigrette for tonight. It's a little thick, but I'll go with it because I don't want to, like, that's enough. I don't need to make more of it. That's a tough one here when you're streaming too and doing it, you know, just for yourself or sort of small group or stuff like that. Like, you know, we could make this the perfect consistency for the photos and everything else on stream, or I could be realistic about what I actually need. I would love to just nail it right off without, you know, but you can see how finely measured that was. Maybe could have gone with the larger pie tin. This is definitely going to shrink, which is my major concern. That still needs a little more time. Why not? We'll throw a little bit with our rice. We need to defrost some water or some stock for rice. Cold in my hand. Trying to cut off my ice. Yeah, back on top. Oh well. Not doing onion with that. Chili we just have to reheat. Actually, I'm probably going to use that same pan for that. Pork. What do we do with our pork tonight? Other than we need to dry that. Yep. Though that's sort of the unusual one. Sort of almost every other day. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So Sunday, Monday. Though Monday is typically my lightest night, I'm going to be doing focaccia and roasted vegetable gazpacho tomorrow. I've never tried roasting veggies just bare on the flame on the stove. Like, I've done it on commercial ranges. I think I've done it on my trailer's commercial range too, but I haven't done it here. We're gonna try that tomorrow. We're gonna blister some tomatoes, some peppers, some both hot and sweet peppers. I forget what all else we have in that recipe. The recipe for the gazpacho is actually in the Discord. And then the focaccia I'm just making separate. We'll add a bit of salt to this since I don't pre-season my stock. That'll help both with melting it and seasoning the rice. We're definitely not up to searing this yet. I'm going to let this hang out here for a little bit, though. I don't want to put salt on it yet, because salt's just going to draw moisture. I want to put salt on it last minute before it gets in the pan. Seasoning, I don't know that the seasoning really... You know, if it's going to be 15-20 minutes from now, seasoning it now is going to be any different. So I think we're just going to hold off on, leave that there looking good for everyone while we melt stock. And grab some rice too. Cambro, if you're listening, it has bothered me for ages that you couldn't just make that just slightly longer. Like, it never quite, it hits right on my knuckle joint. Otherwise, these are pretty nice and easy to pick up one-handed. Just a little bit larger, Cambro. I don't know why there's water in this glass. Probably splashed in there cleaning dishes earlier. Dishwater. Is that gelling enough? I don't know if that's gelling enough for what we need. We might need to add more cornstarch to this party. I'm looking at the pineapple that you can't see right now, unfortunately. Ooh, do they do canned, what do they call them? The like fried onions in a can that size? Like, I'm trying to keep them all like can size, so it's hard for you all to figure out what the cans are too. You have to be like, is that? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, Michael. That might be a good one to add to the list. Yeah, I think we're going to thicken this pineapple a little more. I sort of remember them as being in like a tall cardboard tube, almost like they do breadcrumbs. But I remember them having like a can lid to them, like a sealed lid. Yeah, they sell a lot of stuff in like bags these days that they would have sold in cans back in the day too. Like, I would expect like a long time ago, you probably had a fair amount of like dried stuff that was canned too. I think we're there now. That's looking a bit thicker. Yeah. I need you now. So I guess we're going to switch pans. Because I want to use that pan, this pan here, for rice tonight. I think we're good there. Hey Zeeks, happy Easter. Welcome in. Adding a bit of water there to match up the rice I'm about to add. Yeah, let's see if we can't use the larger one for this, even though this is going to constrict. I think it's big enough. Especially since it's just barely larger than the other ones. I actually sort of want the pepperonis somewhat guarding the bend at the bottom too. Let's start preheating our oven. Sort of wish I had a weight heavier than rice for this one, but rice is what I use. If I can get to it. Everything in the way tonight. Well, I don't use this very often, so understandably buried. It's yellowed and discolored because I've used it before. It's gotten oil on it and butter or something. Whatever was just on my hand now. I'm gonna throw this in the oven just as is. No pan underneath or anything. Oven isn't fully up to temp, but I'm going to throw it in there anyways. Oh, hey. There was a pan already in here. We'll just keep using that pan that I forgot and left in there last stream. Oh, butter was out for the pineapple. Little butter in with our pineapple pie mixture. Just help with the gloss a little bit. How you doing, chat? I gotta try the pineapple. Yep, that's creamy pineapple. That I could actually use a little bit more sugar. There we go. There we go. I am not watching WrestleMania. My fan just started making noise. All of my fans are dying, chat. This fan's starting to make noise all the time. That one was just it vibrated out of place. But my computer, I've had one fan die somewhat recently. I've got the third fan on my GPU dying and making all sorts of. It sounds like a Formula One car when you turn the PC on in the morning. Like, it revs up. If you ever heard those revving patterns that they use for Formula One cars, it's like almost identical. It's like weird. And then it gets into a rhythm and it's quiet the rest of the day. Though it's very obviously got issues. And I now got a second fan. Well, I had one fan die. I've got the GPU fan dying. And I've now got another fan, and I don't know which one it is, but it is going between high frequency noise and stopping. It's like beeping. And it's been doing it for like 2 weeks now, and I can't figure out which one it is. Mostly because it hasn't bothered me enough that I've climbed down and, is this it? Is that it? Is that it? And so now I'm going to have to, after I do that, I'm probably going to have to buy a couple more fans for my PC. The real bummer is one of them is for my D-Pool radiator. And, yeah, replacing those fans are a little proprietary, pain in the butt. It's a power thing. Like, I can probably tie a different power up to it, but it's got power already set up through the radiator for easy plugs, and so you use the same plugs. No, that's on the second, I think it is. Let me double check it's the second that I'm hyping up. Yeah, chat. The second. Off the top of my head, Zeke's, it's a 4 or 5 pin. Straight line, almost like a Molex, but really tiny. Anyways, I have to replace one of those, and the other one, if there was one I was picking in the case as to be the one that's probably got a problem, it's going to be the other one. I've still been keeping in the 50s with one fan on my radiator, so I haven't been that worried about it. I mean, I don't heavily stress that system all that often. We need to set a timer for this. We'll take a look at it in 20 minutes. It's going to take more than 20 minutes. This pizza is typically $4.25. Why did you turn off camera? Are you really that hot? It's not that hot in here. Why'd you shut off? Anyways. I got distracted. The second, Chad is going to choose which cans I have to make dinner with. Everything else in the computer is already Noctua. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. Yeah. That's a consideration for a lot of brands right now. I'm very happy that I got my most recent Raspberry Pi 5 that I posted a photo of in the Discord without any sort of tariff on it. But yeah, they're not. Yeah. I'm excited. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm excited to see if this works out because I now have the Array JBOD, disk shelf with a backplane on it, and that's going to a PCI card. And I just got together a Raspberry Pi 5 with, is it still called a hat if it's underneath the board? Like, it's a hat board, but it's underneath rather than on top, with a PCI slot, like a PCIe slot, the one that allows you to put a larger card into it, but it only uses a couple of lanes. And it's for data, so I'm figuring I don't need a ton of lanes all at once. It's all through the card, through the PCI card. It's got its own separate power. It's got 4 Molex inputs for its power. And so I have the Raspberry Pi 5 card, and it has the PCIe slot on it that may work with it. I hope it'll work with it. And it's also got a Molex on it, so that I can power the whole Raspberry Pi from a Molex. It's also got I forget what you call them. The power version, sort of like a 3.5mm power version. It's a plug-in one. It gives you both of those options on top of the USB-C with that card. I was gonna say, really? That's none of those were it? This one's a rack mount with black paint. I'm just setting it on a shelf. It's also used, which is really why I bought, like, if it wasn't used, if it was new, I probably would have been just throwing this into my current setup. But I bought the Raspberry Pi because after I got this piece in with the JBOD, I researched it a bit and looked at the Google Translate on the logos and stuff like that. And apparently it had been used by a Chinese financial company in Ukraine. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to connect this to all my old data. Do I really want to risk this? We got another 13 minutes here on our pizza pie crust. I guess that means we could, like, I'll give chat the option. So please weigh in if you have an opinion on this. We got 12 minutes here until I'm going to check that pizza. We can do an AFK and have a better chance of actually having a pizza that you can see finished. No, I don't even want to promise that. It's probably going to have to sit in the fridge for a bit, chat. Let's just go ahead with dinner, and I'm gonna have to do photos on the final thing in the Discord because I want the because all we have here for finishing dinner: season and sear our chops, boil our rice, and the chili. Well, I'm sort of dithering over hanging out for longer and maybe having a chance at pulling that pie out. I don't think we're gonna do that. I think it's gonna need an hour or two in the fridge. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make dinner rather than doing an AFK. Turn the flame on our stock and water for our rice. Pepper in there. mustard powder, cayenne, garlic, what was I coming over here for again? Oh, I was coming over here for salt, pepper. Starting to preheat a pan for the pork. Salt. Taking that spice mix and now rubbing it all over the top of our pork. Sunflower oil in the pan. Seasoning on the other side. Adding the rice in. Lid on top of that. Don't cut your tongue. Don't do that, Chad. little flame on the chili in back. Give my hands a clean up here. Make sure we don't got any pork juice making it through dinner. Culpa. Culpa? What kind of Italian are you? I don't know if you're Italian or not. That's 1P. I'm forgetting the name that they used for it in The Sopranos. They used a different name for it in The Sopranos. But it's a very well-known cured sliced spiced meat. Gabagool. Yeah. You got the gabagool. Oh, maybe I'm getting confused then, because I don't think Capicola and Copa are the same. They're both delicious. Hi, Killerbot. Please don't kill me. Turn the flame off of the pork, so that's just chilling in the hot pan. I don't know how much longer we need on our rice. I'm going to give it at least another 7 minutes until I crack that lid, though. Oh, do you go for the pretty one first? That is questionably looking toasty enough for this. Maybe in some sort of gratuitous lovemaking scene? Or is that too much of a trope now? And well, I know that sort of style of horror movie doesn't really get made that much anymore. Other than maybe indie. So we have a pizza crust for our pineapple pie. Chat. No, they're never bringing back The Sopranos. They tried with that prequel movie not too long ago. What's in the pineapple pie? Well, we have... I couldn't find crushed pineapple, so we have pineapple that I blended with a touch of vanilla, sugar, cornstarch, and lemon juice. And do I go for it, chat? Yep, basic pineapple pie. I'm going for it, chat. Let's go for the big screen view of that, though. Actually, this is a repeat. I felt it was such an awesome concept I needed to do again. Uh-oh, food police. PBI. And see, the plan is then once that cools down, we can just hit this up with one of these once it wants to open for me. That they do. And so, we're going to wait for that to chill and set up, but this is going to go on top of that. It's also now available in the kitchen for these. Rice. Let's give the rice another 2 minutes. That glass wasn't so hot. This is going to have to sit for a while, chat. Like, it's not going to be an hour or two either, because that glass that this pizza is on is still hot to the touch. It's not going to burn me, but it's hot enough that I don't want to hold it still. And so that's got to chill down. The pizza's got to chill down. And the filling has got to chill to solidify. The filling's close. Let's grab a photo of this while we're chilling. I forgot about my salad. And so this is going to have that sort of thin, crackery, crunchy crust to it, which will be great for a pie crust. It's got the pepperoni spice. The cheese sort of disappears from what I remember. What didn't stick to the paper here. Chat, what do you think is the worst crime? The pineapple or the whipped cream? I've talked before about how I don't like pineapple turning pizza soggy. Well, Hockey Mask, the thing that's preventing that in this case is because the pizza is cooked. The problem when I have with pineapple on pizza is being, and I've gone over this many times, typical pizza places, just going to buy the 10 cans of giant hunks of pineapple, empty them out directly into 6 pans, and if they're lucky, the person pulling them out of the pan strained them a little bit as they came out of the pan. Versus being... And so you end up with little, like, wells of, like, pineapple soup on your pizza. And I think pineapple on pizza is great, but it has to be chopped fine and it has to be properly strained. You can go too far with that too, because you can dry out pineapple on pizza too, and that's not exactly a fun experience either. That's filthy. Alright, so we have our pesto vinaigrette we threw together earlier. I wonder if Boudin's in that list for any well, it can be, yeah, it's other things too. I'm just serving in this bowl, just to be lazy, rather than getting another dish dirty. Sesame sticks. Faco Bacos. Nutritional yeast. Well, if you got the same one I do, I hope you don't have to refrigerate it. Don't need to bother. It definitely doesn't taste like bacon, but it is very savory in that same sort of area as bacon. I think it's mostly just seasoned fried soy. I don't know if that's gonna stick or not, chat, but I needed some way to somewhat pull the rice away from the chili. Yeah, it's falling. Also, chat, since tomorrow is Monday, it is your last 24 hours to get your say in on the ingredient challenge for Wednesday. We have Wheaties competing against Payday candy bars for this week. So Wednesday is either going to be Payday candy bars, or I believe Wheaties has quite a lead at the moment. Hey, El Capitano. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Payday is the one with nougat wrapped in peanuts. I choose you. I didn't like them as a kid. They're among my favorites these days. What was the worst ingredient challenge? Oh, we're in an ad. Oops. We'll wait until the ad's back for me to say that in case he can't hear me. Get some photos of this. I can understand, like, Payday's being less than Snickers makes sense. I don't know how about Three Musketeers. Depends on peanut versus chocolate. That one... Like, I'm certain back in the day, peanut was cheaper than chocolate. Even, like, candy bar wax chocolate. But nowadays, I think peanuts are probably more pricey. With Snickers, I mean, you got peanuts, caramel, and nougat. So, with chocolate. So that one, you know, that one definitely fits being more expensive, even if you're doing less peanuts. But caramel isn't all that. You notice they're doing more and more caramel and things, chat. And I don't think it's just because people like sweet caramel. I think it's because it's gotten to the point where doing caramel is cheaper than chocolate and a dozen other things. Of course, then again, we also have pretzel M&Ms, which are like, here, let's put some wheat in the center of your M&M. I don't understand those. I sort of like pretzel flavor. I like chocolate-covered pretzels. Don't get chocolate-covered pretzel M&Ms. Now we're back from ad. Maz, what has been the worst ingredient? The worst ingredient, in my opinion, was the one that I had probably the least knowledge going into. Was after 8 dinner mints. And that was one of the first ones I did. After 8 dinner mints, if you're in the US and unfamiliar, they're like a chocolate verging on dark chocolate, maybe not full dark chocolate, with thin mint in the center. They're like Andes mints, basically. And to use that for savory and sweet, like I've said before, I'm already to the point to complaining about chocolate entries in the challenge, because I mean, chili, mole, there's a couple of options there. They're not great. But yeah, that would be doing like Andes mints or Klondike bars. Or are they Klondike bars? Are Klondike the ice cream ones, or is it there's the mint patty that they sell too? York mint patty, yeah, it'd be like cooking with York mint patties. So those had both the mint, which you can throw into some things, but those same things don't really match up with chocolate. But I think we got a plate of dinner here. Plate of food, a couple of plates of food here. And a plate of food for probably Tuesday. Oh, back there on the stove. So I'm going to go and enjoy all this. We're going to allow this to chill. I'll try and get a nice photo of this. You can see it's starting to get there, but this is going to need some time in the fridge to chill. And so photos of that will be later, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see how it goes this evening. I'm going to go back to pounding my head against the wall, trying to get things to work with SprinkleBot. I'm going to be back here tomorrow night. We're going to be making soup. Going to be making focaccia tomorrow. So soup and focaccia tomorrow. We'll have ingredient challenge on Wednesday. And what else we got coming up on next weekend? What we got coming up next weekend? We got Venezuelan savory sweet corn pancakes with cheese. They're sort of like a savory sweet pancake that we're going to treat like a quesadilla. We're going to stuff it with cheese and fold it in half. And then, not this Monday, but the Monday after, doing a ham, chickpea, and spinach soup. So that's going to probably be a little bit of a longer Monday stream because we'll probably use a ham hock for that. So sort of like a ham and bean soup, but with chickpeas instead of your traditional beans, and with a little spinach in there. Alright, folks. See y'all back here tomorrow night. Have a great night. Good night.